Plus, if you have really good training internally with your team here, it's so much easier to recruit entry-level salespeople, way easier, than having to find these already existing talented closers. What's up? My name is Taylor. I document all the business practices I'm using right now in businesses that I own or businesses that I consult for, and I just put them here on YouTube and share them with you for free. So, what I'm gonna talk about today is remote sales management. Okay, there's a lot of businesses, especially in the education space, but because of COVID especially, so much of business has gone remote. And because of technology and AI, more and more sales guys can do their job remotely. There's a lot that I've learned. I had a 24-person sales team that was all remote for about 2.5 years that did really well. We've helped multiple 7- and 8-figure companies with their sales teams and setting it up. So I'm just gonna share what we've done and what worked for us. The two things I'm gonna highlight that I'm gonna go over with you guys, first is performance. Okay, when you have a team and this is, I'm not gonna talk anything about onboarding, recruiting, and finding talent, any of that stuff. But once you have guys in, you need them to perform, right? So think of this like a football team. You've done the recruiting, you've looked at the guys, you've vetted them. Now it's training week, right? We're about to start the season. I need to get these guys performing now. Then, once I get them performing, how do I keep these people on the team growing, staying with us? Because obviously, if you're a legit business owner who has sales teams, you know this, sales guys turn over. It's a very high churn position. But if you structure it the right way, you'll decrease churn, which means with your onboarding process and recruiting process, you'll be able to grow the team further. And obviously, bigger sales force, more sales, more for your business. Let's get into this crap, shall we? On the performance side, there's a few different things I wanna go over. The first piece is tracking. Duh, this should be obvious. Guys, I have another video on a stat tracking sheet, but with tracking, you guys should have quantitative and qualitative inputs, okay? Which means, okay, obviously you're tracking appointments booked, appointments showed, appointments closed, presentations, demos, but then you need to have qualitative. So I have all of our guys do end of day reports. That way I can see how are they assessing themselves today. Because sales is so athletic, it would be like asking an athlete when they're not performing, being like, hey, how are you feeling, man? You know, because like there might be some stuff I can't see in the stats that are qualitative, but I wouldn't know that unless I ask some qualitative questions. Things like, how did you feel about the sales process you used today? How did you feel about how you did on objection? So it's more like feel stuff. It's qualitative, it's more intangible. The quantitative would be your stat sheet. I have a whole training on that. I'm not gonna get into that now, but obviously you need to have tracking because you need to have what your key performance indicator is for your business, right? For example, if you guys, it costs you guys $50 every call that gets booked in your business, so every appointment that's generated, and you know as a company, your customer acquisition cost relative to the net lifetime value you get from each customer, let's say you know that your CAC needs to be $200. Well, that means your closing needs to be 25%. So this would be your key performance indicator. If someone falls below 25%, that's when we would initiate a performance improvement plan. So all this other stuff is gonna come back obviously to your tracking. And I'm gonna get into performance improvement plan at the end. But you need proper tracking. Okay, we got that, perfect. Training content daily. So sales is so nuanced and there's so many different things with verbal communication, your actual word tracks and scripts that you guys are using, and the nonverbal. How do your sales reps vocally present themselves? Is their vocal image confident? Is their vocal image certain? Do they have filler words like ums, likes, awesome? Or are they more sophisticated? There's a lot that goes into sales. And so you guys need your sales guys. We have them do 20 minutes a day. And this is all proprietary. We build sales training content for the sales teams. But there's a lot of sales training solutions out there. You guys could go source and use a sales training company and have your sales guys train every day to keep their skills sharp. Okay, then would be goals. Every salesperson needs goals, obviously, because that's why they're in this type of role, is they're very competitive. It would be weird as an athlete to join a team, but you're not sure if the goal is to win a championship or not. It's like, well, there's a championship. And it's individual to each rep. And I've noticed with goal setting, the goals need to be chunked down to what matters for them. Because people will come in, they're like, you know, I want to do like 250K this year in commission. Okay, let's not leave this as an arbitrary goal. Hey, why do you want to do 250K? Well, because I want to get this house. Okay, what neighborhood? This neighborhood. What's the down payment you need for it? This. How much is the monthly mortgage payment? This. Okay, it's going to take you 12 months to save 50K. You live off of 50K a year now, but the payment for you to be more comfortable, you need to make 75K a year. So let's get you to 75K a year plus the 50K your first year. So let's have your goal be 125K this year in commissions. See, now instead of, well, I just want to make 250K because, we help them reverse engineer why their goal should be 125K. And then, because we have proper tracking, we can reverse engineer this commission back to how many appointments do they need to generate? How many appointments do they need to take? How many presentations or demos do they need to give? What does their closing percentage need to be? So we tie the goal, and then all this fits within KPI still, etc. Okay, cool. Next up would be the daily huddle. There needs to be a daily touch point with sales reps. I always joke, managing salespeople is like managing drunk cats. They're just, you know, they're all over the place, and the reason why they love people and having conversations and doing sales is because they have some of that like neurotic OCD type of personality, and so they need a touch point every day to reel them in. Why are we here? What is your goal? What's the stats from yesterday? What's the leaderboard and the scoreboard? Right? Let's create competition. Who's crushing it right now? And so it can be meant for training. It's a touch point of the scoreboard and where people are at for the month and stuff like that. Okay, then this is where some more on the micro side of management comes in. Call reviews. Okay, call reviews are one of the best strategies, I think, in helping a sales rep get better. You record the Zoom call or the phone call, you play it live with that sales rep with you, you pause and play, and you go through it just like a team. They look at the footage of the game from last week, this week, to see what they did wrong, what they can improve on. Because sales reps all the time, they'll be like, oh yeah, you know, he didn't close because he didn't have the right budget. No, he had the budget. He had a belief that you didn't identify. He had the money, or he had uncertainty on the solution because you triggered him with this question here. Do you see that now? See, they don't know what they don't know. And so you have to do a live call review for them to really see the full picture. It's like, no, you thought you did this. This is what you did. Triaging calls would be like a 20-minute one-on-one with the rep. Let's say you're looking at that quantitative data, their numbers have been tracking down, they're not gonna be hitting goal. So it's like, hey, I need to have a little 20-minute, conversation with you. Let's figure it out together. What do you need? How can I help? What do we need to do together? Okay, that's a triage call. Then a performance improvement plan. This is someone falls below KPI. Now, what I do, because the sales cycles with sales reps that I'm working with are typically 7 to 14 day sales cycles. So it's very transactional. And so if they have a full sales cycle, which is 14 days, let's say, and they're below KPI for 14 days, that's when I send them over to the performance improvement plan. Performance improvement plan is another 1 to 2 weeks, okay? And it's either a decrease in sales like volume so that we can increase training volume. And they're given a specific training program that is specific to them for that 1 to 2 weeks to make an improvement. And then we put them back up to full sales volume and see if an improvement was made. We want to just see improvement. If we see improvement and they got a little bit closer, let's say they were down to 17% and our KPI for the business is 25 and they were there for 2 weeks. Put them on performance improvement plan. They get up to 22 after. I'm not gonna can him just because he didn't get to 25. He's improving again and I'm gonna let him continue to go up. Now, if we give him all this extra training and he's still at 17% or he keeps going down, we just part ways. And we set that expectation. Everything is about expectations. It's expectations with your customers, expectations with your team. So you tell people when you're recruiting, even before you've hired them, hey, if you fall below our KPI, we put you on performance improvement for 2 weeks. We give you 1 shot. If you improve, we put you back on the board. If you don't improve, we shake hands and we say it's not working out. That's it. So if you say that beforehand and then you put them on here and they don't improve, it's very easy conversation. Hey, sorry man, didn't work out, right? So this is how we do performance, all right? Hopefully that makes sense. Now, let's talk about retention. Retention is very much like your customer retention. There needs to be a journey to the sales rep in your business, and that refers to ascension. So like if you have an SDR team, and then you have like a closer team, this is what we have typically, right? We'll have setters and closers. So like appointment setters, we'll have a level 1 and a level 2. And then on the closer side, we'll have a level 1, level 2. Give it a sexier name, right? You give it a nice name because titles, even though as an entrepreneur, like as a business owner, titles don't matter to you. Like I could care less if you want to call me CEO, president, owner, but titles matter to employees. So make sure these are titles that really make sense, you know? So like junior SDR, senior SDR, junior closer, senior closer, right? Associate business developer, senior business developer, names like that. But essentially, the way you could recruit is you can recruit into your level 1. When they hit a certain KPI or goal, they get bumped up to level 2. When they hit another KPI and goal, they move over to closer. If they perform at a certain level, they go to level 2 closer, right? And you guys can set up your sales organization in a way where you have like your A team and your B team of closers, and you could have your highest quality leads only go to like your A team, and your lower level leads go to your B team. And then this gives incentive. Hey, if you can close the B team, dude, when we bring you to the A team, we give you better leads, you're gonna make a ton more money. You're creating this journey and you're giving them the carrot. Hey, here's where you can go in our organization. And you give little pay raises and bumps and you align incentive, right? Where, hey, on target earnings for a junior sales development rep is $48K a year, okay? A senior is gonna make $60K a year. Nice. Hey, on the B team of the closer side, right, the juniors, their on target earnings are $80K. And then if you get to the A team, right, to the major leagues, those guys are at $150K a year, right? And so you align how your commission structure and stuff is set up to have good ascension and a way for your reps to grow in the organization. Plus, if you have really good training internally with your team here, it's so much easier to recruit entry-level salespeople way easier than having to find these already existing talented closers. Not that it's wrong, it creates a constraint when you can only hire high-level talent, because even if you can pay for high-level talent, it's still a smaller pool and you need better offers and opportunities for that type of talent. It's easier in a bigger pool of people to get and hire for this, which decreases a bottleneck or constraint in your business so you can really grow the business. Okay, so that's ascension. Recognition is pretty simple. There's micro and macro, okay? Micro recognition, when someone does something well, you send them a Slack in front of others. You could do it one-on-one, but in front of others, you know, email, CC the team, or at one of the meetings, right? Hey, I listened to John's closing call the other day. He smashed it using the money handling process. He didn't make the sale, but he used the process to a T. John, that was awesome, bro. Then macro would be once a quarter, for example, you recognize the top producing salesperson and you give them something that they normally don't get. Because if you already incentivize with money, recognition, they don't want more money. What they want is the recognition. What they want is the status. So it could be like a sick watch. You know, we give the guys a watch every quarter for the highest producing sales rep. Maybe it's a $200 bottle of wine, a really nice bottle of wine. Maybe it's you know, a $500 gift card to a nice restaurant so they can go on a nice date with their wife or their husband. But you have to do recognition with your salespeople constantly. They don't just care about money. Yes, they do, but not just. They need recognition and status. Okay, last piece is what we call culture. You gotta have good culture if you wanna retain salespeople, and really any employees for that matter. If you suck as a leader, as a visionary, creating a culture that people wanna be around, they wanna be around you, they wanna be in this community, they're drawn to it. If you can't create that, good luck. All this other crap doesn't even matter. So I have three things here. I have vision, values, and vulnerability. Vision is you need to constantly remind everybody on the team why they're there. Why are we here? Why are we selling? Why are we selling this product? What's the bigger picture? Okay, so you gotta create vision. Values are the DNA. What do you guys stand for, right? Confidence, humility. It's those different values. And so there needs to be a constant reminder of the values, and at every meeting during your guys' cadences, and there needs to be even recognition of people who embody those values. So once a week, for example, we can recognize the sales rep who embodied the value of humility that month. The last piece I call vulnerability. Vulnerability is a lost art with leaders. You as the leader have to create vulnerability. When you mess up, tell them you messed up. Own it. Take responsibility. When you're struggling, tell them you're struggling and show how you're still doing your work and your job even though you're struggling. Because seeing the humanity of you as the leader and creating vulnerability gives them permission to be vulnerable, which gives them the permission to be real, which creates a much more cohesive and productive team. So, if you got value from this, if this was helpful in any small way, please share this video with another business owner or sales manager or sales leader that you know. It would mean the world to me. I'm just trying to get this information out. And honestly, I want to make sales great again. I wish more people viewed sales and salespeople in a good light. So go ahead and share the video if you liked it, and I will catch you on the next one.